Perth teacher who police believe gave birth to her student's baby after repeatedly sexually assaulting him has admitted to the shocking sex crimes. Naomi Craig pleaded guilty to all 15 charges.
In November and December of 2025, a pregnant woman in Mandurah, Australia posed for 3 separate professional maternity photoshoots, 7 to 8 months along, glowing, excited about the baby on the way. The photographers gushed over her, called her a Christina Aguilera doppelganger, said she was an absolute bombshell. She posted the photos to social media. Friends and family congratulated her. Her husband was thrilled. Their second child was almost here. 9 days after those photos were posted, on December 16, 2025, the woman sexually abused a child for what would be the last time. 13-year-old boy. The same boy she'd been raping since he was 12 years old. The same boy whose baby she was carrying in those maternity photos. Her name is Naomi Tekea Craig, 33 years old, married music teacher at Frederick Irwin Anglican School in Mandurah, Western Australia. And on January 27, 2026, she stood before Magistrate Claire Cullen and pleaded guilty to 15 charges related to the sexual abuse of a child. The baby she was pregnant with in those photos. Born January 8, 2026. DNA testing confirmed what investigators already suspected. The father wasn't her husband. It was the 12-year-old boy she'd been raping for over a year. Welcome to Beyond Guilty.
There was no sign of Naomi Craig in court today. She was given special permission to appear via a phone link on medical grounds. We heard her repeatedly say guilty, Your Honour, to every shocking charge against her. The 33-year-old was first charged with 3 offences by detectives from the Child Abuse Squad back in December. Since then, she's given birth to a baby. Police say a DNA test was done and believe the former student is the father. Craig taught at Frederick Irwin Anglican School. It was revealed in court today the boy she assaulted, a former student, was just 12 and 13 years old at the time of the offences.
Naomi Tekea Craig grew up in Mandurah, about an hour south of Perth. She earned a Bachelor of Arts from the University of Western Australia and a Diploma of Education from Edith Cowan University. She eventually moved to Melbourne where she married her long-term partner. The couple had a baby boy. By all accounts, they seemed like a normal family. Somewhere between late 2022 and 2023, they moved back to Mandurah. Craig took a job as a music teacher at Frederick Irwin Anglican School, a private coeducational Anglican institution in the suburb of Meadow Springs. At school, she was known by her married name, Naomi Woods. Students and colleagues saw her as just another teacher. Married, mother of 1. Living an ordinary life in suburban Australia. But in October 2024 something changed. Naomi Craig, then 32 years old, began sexually abusing a 12-year-old boy. The principal of Frederick Irwin Anglican School, Tracy Gray, would later send a letter to parents clarifying that the victim was not a student at the school. The abuse didn't happen on school grounds. But it happened in Craig's community, in her suburb. And it went on for 14 months. Before October 2024, the victim was living an ordinary life, hanging out with his mates, playing weekend sport, cars, camping trips, school pranks, standard 12-year-old boy stuff. But his friends say everything shifted within months of the abuse starting. The once easygoing student started getting into trouble. In school, out of school. Those closest to him noticed something was wrong. One friend told the Daily Mail that the boy started talking about sexual things a lot. He'd say really inappropriate things that he had done. Another friend said he became a troublemaker. His social media reflected the same disturbing shift. Posts that used to be about cars and camping suddenly focused on adult themes. He referenced older girlfriends. Posted sexually suggestive content. Often mentioned blondes. One post, shared months before Craig's arrest, read like a joke but hit differently in hindsight. Your Honor, you're never supposed to ask a woman her age. Case dismissed. This wasn't normal behavior for a 12-year-old. This was a child who'd been groomed. exposed to things no child should experience. And his social media became a window into how the abuse was warping his understanding of relationships, sex, and adulthood. By September 2025, Craig was 5 months pregnant. And the tone of the boy's posts shifted again. This time he focused on content about marriage, fatherhood, and the kind of dad he hoped to be. He was 13 years old, still a child himself, and he was posting about becoming a father. Here's what makes this case even more disturbing. Naomi Craig's husband had no idea the baby wasn't his. Sources close to the family confirmed that Craig's husband spent almost the entire pregnancy believing the child was theirs. In late December, just weeks before the baby was due, he was still calling it our baby. On January 27, 2026, Magistrate Claire Cullen read the charges aloud in Mandurah local court. Naomi Craig appeared via video link. She'd given birth just 2 weeks earlier. The charges included 5 counts of sexually penetrating a child under 13, 5 counts of sexually penetrating a child over 13 and under 16, for abuse that occurred after the victim's birthday, persistent sexual conduct with a child under 16, possessing child exploitation material, indecent dealings with a child under 13, indecent dealings with a child between 13 and 16. 15 charges total. After each charge was read, Craig responded the same way. "Guilty, Your Honor." She didn't fight it. Didn't try to minimize what she'd done. Her lawyer, Reed Hogan, told the court she wanted to enter guilty pleas to all charges. She understood she wasn't required to plead yet but chose to anyway. Magistrate Cullen informed her that the charges would be expedited to district court for sentencing. Craig's next court appearance is scheduled for March 27, 2026.
Craig now faces a total of 15 charges and admitted to every one of them. Sexual penetration, persistent sexual conduct, possessing child exploitation material and indecent dealing.
According to the complaint, at least 12 incidents of abuse took place in Silver Sands, a suburb of Mandurah. 3 more incidents occurred nearby in Meadow Springs. Craig's bail was renewed with strict conditions. She had to put up $20,000 personally and $50,000 surety. And she's prohibited from seeing anyone under the age of 18 without supervision. The only exception is her newborn. That means she can't see her older child unsupervised. Her first son. The one she had with her husband before all of this happened. He's now being cared for by others while his mother awaits sentencing for raping a 12-year-old. Share this story so others can see it. In Western Australia, those who commit sexual offences against children can be sentenced to up to 20 years in prison. Given the number of charges, the age of the victim, and the fact that she became pregnant as a result of the abuse, Craig is likely looking at a lengthy sentence. She could also end up on Western Australia's sex offender registry, requiring her to inform police of her whereabouts for years after her release. But beyond the legal consequences, there's the human wreckage left behind. The 13-year-old victim, childhood stolen, understanding of relationships permanently warped. Now a biological father before he's old enough to drive a car. Craig's husband, blindsided, humiliated, photographed dropping their older son off at Craig's parents' home after her court appearance. His life destroyed by his wife's crimes. Craig's older son, old enough to understand that something terrible has happened, that his mother did something unforgivable, that she can't see him without supervision now, that his family has been torn apart, and the baby, born January 8, 2026, innocent, the biological child of a 13-year-old rape victim and a 33-year-old predator. That child will grow up knowing the circumstances of their conception. The details that have emerged paint a picture of a woman who showed no remorse while the abuse was happening. She posed for glamorous maternity photoshoots while pregnant with her victim's child. She shared those photos publicly. She let photographers call her a bombshell while she was actively raping a 12-year-old. She maintained her marriage, kept teaching, went on maternity leave as if this was a normal pregnancy. let her husband believe the baby was his, played the role of excited mother-to-be while destroying a child's life. On March 27, 2026, Naomi Tekea Craig will face sentencing for 15 charges related to the sexual abuse of a child. 33 years old, married music teacher, mother of 2, and convicted child rapist. This is beyond guilty.